Next, let's look at positioning children lying down. You want to place the child in a flexed midline position, the kind of position that looks comfortable or natural and that a child who can move herself independently might choose, as Jade does here. Hips and knees at least partially bent, neck straight or slightly forward, not extended back, and shoulders forward enough that the hands can come together. When positioning children with high muscle tone who need your help to move, you are simply aiming to recreate these positions and to provide enough physical support to keep them in the positions you place them in. Let's start with positioning in side lying. Here, Karis is demonstrating her custom-made sleeping support, which allows her to stay in a comfortable, partially flexed position on her side at night. It provides all the essential elements of good support in side lying. There is a firm support across her front that encourages the muscles at the front of her body to help her bend forward. There's a support at her back to keep her from rolling back. Her hips and knees are in a flexed or bent position, and there is a support between her legs which helps keep the top leg from dragging down, which is hard on the hips and back. Many of the children you work with, especially in an acute care inpatient setting, will not have a support like this, but you can use the same principles with pillows, bolsters, and other supports. Before you start, make sure that you have supports within reaching distance. These supports could be pillows, stuffed animals, wedges, bolsters, or rolled towels or blankets. Roll the child to his or her side, moving slowly and evenly. If the child can roll on her own, be sure to get her to help. Place a bolster or other support against the child's back. Place a support between the legs. Gently pull the bottom shoulder blade forward so the child is not lying on the bony point of the shoulder. Place a pillow or large stuffed toy against the child's chest. Rest the child's top arm over the pillow or toy. This position is called side lying or full side lying. Another option is partial side lying, also called banked positioning. To position a child in partial side lying, you follow all the same steps, placing a wedge or pillows behind the back. Once this is in position, allow the child to roll back onto the support. Then, if necessary, readjust the child's head position so that the neck is straight or the chin is slightly tucked towards the chest, not extended back. You may choose to place a pillow under the child's head in either full or partial side lying, depending on the child's preference. When positioning a child on his or her back, you also want to position in flexion or forward bending at key points, just as you did in side lying. This will help break up any extensor posturing. Bend the child's hips, moving the legs one at a time. Move each leg slowly and steadily. You may get a lot of resistance at first, and then suddenly it will move much more easily, as happens here. This is another reason it's important to always move slowly and give your full attention to what you're doing. Once the hips are bent, place a pillow or other support under the child's knees. Flex or bend the neck forward and put a pillow or a folded blanket under the child's head. The order doesn't matter. You may choose to put a pillow under the head before you position the hips and knees. If you are going to be doing something with a child's arms, such as drawing blood or range of motion exercises, support the shoulders and arms in a slightly flexed position. Here, the therapist is able to support the arm with her hands. If you are starting an IV or drawing blood, place a support under the upper arm near the shoulders as well as under the rest of the arm. If any part of the body is not well supported, the child's muscle tone will be higher than it needs to be as the body tries to find stability. All children will have their own likes and dislikes. If you're working with a child for the first time or having difficulty positioning a child, speak to that child's parents or primary caregivers, as they will know the child's positioning and movement plan and preferences best. If the positioning plan or equipment needs to be reassessed, speak to the child's therapist. And remember, children who cannot move independently need to be placed in different positions regularly.